So what we're going to be doing in this session is kind of a combination of some husbandry and some exercise. So we're going to start with the husbandry, and our dolphins know a variety of different husbandry behaviors. And when I say husbandry, those are the medical things that we teach our dolphins in order to keep them healthy. So a husbandry behavior could be as simple as a layout, where we're asking our dolphins to present different parts of their body to us so that we can check out their back, or their belly, or their tail, or even their tongue. We check out their teeth every day. Or it could be something as complex as a voluntary blow draw. Now, the husbandry behavior that we're doing right now is currently happening here on the right-hand side with Foster. We are taking his measurements. So we have a simple measuring tape. There's nothing special about it. It's not every step of kit. But we're measuring Foster's length and his girth. Excellent. So for Foster, all he has to do is stay still. All he has to do is what we call a ventral layout, where he presents his belly to us and holds still, so that we can take that measuring tape and put it from the tip of his rostrum to his belly button, and then from his belly button to the tip of his tail. Our measuring tapes aren't quite long enough to get the entire body in one go, neither are our arms. So we do the length measurement in 2 different steps, and we train every single thing here through positive reinforcement. So did anybody hear a whistle for that very first one? I see some hands going up. Yes, the whistle means he did it correctly. The whistle simply means good job. Now, if you're watching what happened now, Foster kind of lost interest in his trainer and decided to go and play with the basketball. That happens. That's part of it. When Foster's done playing with the basketball, he'll eventually make his way back to the trainer here, and then his trainer will move on. That's the key to positive reinforcement. We don't want to highlight incorrect behaviors, and anything additional that we would do would highlight it. So we do nothing. That's essentially all we do. When the dolphin does a behavior incorrectly, we give it a pause, and then we move on. So positive reinforcement training comes in when we give them reinforcement after they've done a good job. So listen for that whistle. The whistle means good job. And then the reinforcement that follows it could be anything from the training getting really excited to giving them a handful of ice cubes or toys or fish. We give our dolphins jello. So lots and lots of different things that happen when the dolphin does the behavior correctly. And when the dolphin does the behavior incorrectly, nothing at all happens. Alright, so we're going to see if Foster's ready to do this layout.
박수 친다, 박수 친다.
And it sounds like we got a measurement. Excellent. So Foster did a really good job with that. The trainer was actually even able to get a steady measurement on the measuring tape, so we can know how long Foster is. And since he did a really good job with that, April, his trainer, decided to send him on one of his favorite behaviors, which is his perimeter speed swim. So sometimes we'll even use favorite behaviors to reinforce the job well done. So these husbandry behaviors are really, really important for our dolphins' health. And now that we've gotten a length measurement, we're going to see if we can get a girth measurement. So this one's a little bit more tricky than the length. We have to start down at his tail and kind of shimmy the measuring tape up until it's just about at his dorsal fin. That's the widest part of their body where we can get the girth. So he's been really calm so far. And we got a measurement. Excellent. Good job, Foster. So by having their length and their girth, we can actually do a mathematical equation to figure out how much they weigh. So we figure out how much they weigh this way, but we also take their weight. So if you can see all the way in the back here, we have a pretty big silver rectangle. That's a dolphin-sized scale. So we can ask our dolphins to haul up onto that scale and get their weight. We do this on a weekly basis, and we measure their weight so that we can make sure we're feeding them enough. So we don't want our dolphins to be overweight or underweight. We want to make sure they're getting exactly how much food they need every single day. So that goes hand in hand with exercise. So exercise is a really, really important part of our dolphin's day. It's important for everyone to get exercise. Dolphins are naturally really, really high energy animals. So dolphins are used to swimming really, really fast and jumping really high out of the water. They have a lot of muscles in their body, so it's important that we teach them lots of behaviors and encourage them to use those muscles. So dolphins can swim incredibly fast. In fact, they have to in order to catch all of the fish that they need to eat on a daily basis. So dolphins can actually swim about 25 miles an hour. And just to put that into a little bit of perspective, the fastest human swimmer, does anybody know who that is, the fastest human swimmer? He's a Baltimore local. Michael Phelps, I heard somebody say it. He actually swims about 3 or 4 miles an hour. So dolphins at 25 miles an hour are incredibly fast. And all of that speed comes from their tail. So when you've watched Foster swim around the pool, he's just pumping his tail up and down, just like this. And that's all the power that it takes to get his 430-pound body through the water. So that up and down motion is unique to marine mammals. If you go throughout the rest of the aquarium and check out the fish, check out the sharks, which actually are fish. Raise your hand if you do that. Sharks are fish. Excellent. A couple of hands up there. Now you know sharks are fish, dolphins are mammals. So all fish move their tails back and forth like this. Dolphins and marine mammals put their tails up and down. And that's just one of the differences that makes mammals a lot faster through the water than fish. So this is Bo showing off his spin swim. So sometimes when dolphins are swimming really, really fast through the water like that, they'll actually jump completely out of the water in what we call a bow or a porpoise. And dolphins jump for lots and lots of different reasons, but when they're speed swimming and then they jump out of the water, it's so that they can take a breath of air. So dolphins, being mammals like us, they breathe air from the surface. They cannot breathe when they're under the water because they have lungs, just like us. So they need to surface in order to take that big breath of air. But if you're swimming at 25 miles an hour, it would take a lot of energy to hit the brakes, slow down completely, and then stick your head above the water to take a breath of air. So instead, what they do is a little bit like this. They just kind of take a little small jump, and that way their entire body is out of the water, so they can catch a breath of air. So just take a breath of air like you're here and do it. And that way they don't have to slow down at all. So dolphins will jump in order to breathe, but they'll also jump for lots and lots of other reasons as well. So dolphins will jump out of the water maybe if they have an itch. Dolphins get itchy just like us. So when they have an itch, they'll jump out of the water and slam their itchy part against the surface of the water, and that takes care of that. Sometimes they'll jump to get a look around. The eyes are on the sides of their heads, so when your head is above the water, they can see really, really well. They actually can see all of you just as well as you can see them. So they're jumping to get a look around. They might be jumping to get rid of parasites. So sometimes parasites may take hold, and if they jump in the center of the water, that knocks all those parasites off. They could be jumping to communicate. So that back breach that Foster just did when he landed, it made a really big splash and a really loud noise. And that noise carries for quite a ways around the water, and it could carry some type of information for other dolphins in the area. Jumping could also be a hunting strategy. So Bo is going to show us a vertical spin here in the center. And again, when it lands, it makes a really loud splash and a really big noise. So this splash could also be a way of hunting. If you are a little tiny fish and then you're underneath of a dolphin when it lands on you and one of those back reaches or big jumps, it's going to stun that fish for a few seconds, and that makes it a whole lot easier to catch. That was Foster there in the center showing off another hunting strategy. We call that hydroplaning. And the way dolphins hunt during that, they'll actually herd fish upwards of a shallow area and skim right across the surface of the water in order to catch those fish that they chased up there into the shallows. So dolphins will do all of these different types of things, but all of these things here are things that dolphins will do on their own. It's just that here we're talking how to do them by pairing them with different hand signals, using that method of positive reinforcement. There's obviously a lot that the dolphins can learn from us, but there's a lot that we can learn from our dolphins as well. We have a lot of different research projects going on right now, and one of them is looking at the shape of dolphin flukes or tails. And we could look at Rose tail right there. So he's trying to determine if the tips of their tails need any extra speed to their swim. So dolphins, if you take their body measurements and their size and their weight and their muscle mass, they're actually a lot can determine if that little extra movement on the tips of your flukes has anything to do with this extra speed. So all of these things we learn from dolphins and all of these behaviors that we see here are things that the dolphins have learned from us. It's a great look at Foster when he's backed up. So every one of these behaviors was trained using positive reinforcement. We take a really big behavior and we break it down into little small steps and we teach them one step at a time and we reinforce those things along the way, whether it's with ice cubes or fish or tension or playtime. There's a lot of different things that our dolphins find very, very reinforcing. And again, if the dolphin makes a mistake, we just move on. We completely ignore it. So every single one of these behaviors was trained the exact same way with positive reinforcement. So another behavior that our dolphins know is actually called gating. And I mentioned earlier on that we ask our dolphins to move around the exhibit space throughout the day. That's actually what's going to be happening right now in just a few minutes. So if you look at the back pool, the back right-hand pool, there are no dolphins back there currently. We're going to be asking Noah and Foster to go into that pool and then asking some of our female dolphins to come out into the front pool. And I say ask, and I only say ask because it's up to the dolphins whether or not they want to. Just like any other behavior that you saw, whether it was the length and girth measurement or the big flip, we're always asking them because it's their right completely to say, I don't want to do that right now. And if they do, we can't make them. So we move on. We try something else. We do something different. Maybe something more fun for them. So that gating session is going to be happening here in just a few minutes. So stick around if you'd like to see some of our female dolphins come out into the front pool. And if you have questions about our dolphins or about how exactly we go about training all of these awesome behaviors that you've just seen, or if you just want to chat about dolphins, my name's Kimmy. I'm one of the trainers. I'll be up here. I'm available. I'm here to answer your questions if you have.